workshop. Everyone wants to participate, file down. It's not mandatory, so
Everyone's gonna get that. Optionatory.
we're about to start the rock workshop. It's not mandatory. If you'd like to participate, come on down over here so we can gauge how much space we got. Yeah, that works.
Yo, please gather around. We're going to take the workshop that we have an idea of what we're working with, what we can work with. Go ahead and know you have to do the workshop. Your stage, we're the best rocker.
Turn down. Don't turn it off for everyone else. Yeah, keep it here.
Guys, thank you for showing up. I'll go over a little about the history of Austin, how I got introduced into rocking, and I don't want to go over routines and too much movement, but I want to give you guys an idea of concept, listening to music, and how to like bring your stuff to the rock and formulate something new. So first, does anyone know anything about rocking? Can I see a show of hands? How much you know about rocking out here? A little bit. All right, we'll start with, can you tell me how many elements are in rocking? Just like how b-boying has 4, right? You guys know which the 4 elements for b-boying is. There's 3 for rocking. Jerks, burns, and freestyle. So everyone always rush into the jerks, into the burns, but it's the freestyle that really lets you get open and start storytelling and make a lot of sense with the music and your movement. So a little history with the rock. The rock started somewhere early in the 60s. It was like a time where everyone was starting a band. There was records being released and dropped every other day. And every race and every borough was sticking to their own little region of area. But everyone was this area of like expressing, and everyone wanted to dance, everyone wanted to groove. So a lot of people started getting out to the clubs, and you saw a lot of movement and dance. The rock kind of started off with disco, so you see a lot of that sway and that movement, but it was a lot of fast pace. And then depending where you go, there was more funk, and then you start seeing more spins and drops. But in Brooklyn, they like to go off on each other right at the break. And that's where the jerks and the burn comes in. And a lot of people get caught up with that. But I think it's more important to learn the timing of the music, how to freestyle, and then finally get down on the jerks and the burns and make a story of it. It's easy to come up like, hey, I got a weapon, I'm gonna do it real quick. But that's like a scratch off the surface level. We want to really get into it. We want to get to like, where do you have it, how do you pull it out, which beat, and then do you even hit them on the beat with it, not just like sporadically, but to the rhythm, to the composition of the music. For me, seeing rock started with the Floor Lords. I was seeing incredible breakers, people like Chino, Sammy, Brian, especially Flo. They were right in the midsection before breaking started taking off. And so that's how it kind of started. Rocking was something that we started doing at the top, and it got down to the floor a little bit. And as soon as footwork started coming in, that's when b-boy kind of developed and started taking over. It's good that I dropped some history and some knowledge for you guys so that way it's, we can carry on these traditions. So I appreciate everybody. So some of the crews that we got introduced to was when I first started in Boston around 2017, was it, Jay? No, sorry, 2007. We were already b-boying and rocking. I'm old. Been rocking and b-boying for a while, but we didn't really know what rocking was. And then the forums started opening up, and we were releasing clips of ourselves dancing, thinking what was rocking. There's a lot of OGs on there lurking, and they were criticizing to the T, and we didn't understand what we were doing wrong, and they were just, you know, picking us apart. Someone sent us an invite. We went out to Brooklyn one night, and we were lined up against all these people getting battled from all generations, from people all over the world. So while this dance is like unique and kind of open to the people, it's a very small community, and we noticed that people from other parts of the world were able to come and connect and bring it back home to their country and share it with everyone else and share it with everyone. And there's huge communities. When you go to Poland, Tokyo, Russia, there's like hundreds of rockers, and they like welcome you to come travel to the area just as much as b-boying is accessible to everyone. So some of the, we'll go over the music.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Let me talk a little bit more about the crew a little bit. Some of the first crews that brought us in was Mastermind Rockers, Dynasty Rockers, Incredible Breakers, Ready to Rock.
These are all from New York, right?
This is all from New York. These are all New York crews. New York had hundreds of crews. Little Dave Rockers, and they spanned it from different generations. We could see everyone had their own unique style. But certain crews in certain regions carry a very unique style, and they still carry that tradition to this day. So when you see people like Dynasty Rockers, they still carry this type of style. They won't deviate from it, and that's how like the field rocking should be represented. I learned from all the crews, from all the different people. You remember me, I was hosting a lot of workshops at DYC. We had people from Incredible Breakers to King of Rock, Fano, Ringo, everyone in the rock community came to Boston, and we had a place to offer to a lot of people. So that's my background with rocking. I've traveled far, back and forward, been in many finals, won a bunch of jams, taught a lot of generations. Nowadays, I'm just more about just having fun with it. Yeah. So I appreciate everyone showing up tonight. I'm gonna start with maybe just listening to the music and give you an idea. So I know you can play it anytime, just coming up. So with b-boying, a lot of people think it's just a 1 and a 2, and you're like 1 and a 2. But with rocking, it's more of a 4 count to start. It can even go up to a 16 count. And if you're not paying attention to the counts, that's when you're gonna get burned. It doesn't matter how much motion or how many creative burns you can do. If it doesn't make sense to the music and the composition, it's just not gonna land. So you have to almost like understand the music. And so like with b-boying, you think it's just a 1 and a 2, and then you start 1 and a 2 again. But for rocking, it's a 4 count. And typically on a 4 count, you want to drop, spin, or at least accentuate that it's a 4. Now, the reason why I'm telling you the difference between the 1, 2, and the 4 is that when you're b-boying, you could be 1, 2, and you're dropping, but you're not dropping on the 4, and it's going to look like you're off. Real rockers can spot you out from a mile away, so it's important to know that you drop on the 4, you dance to the 4, and you accentuate the 4. You can still hit the 2, but it's not as direct. It's a little softer. And then so once you start connecting to the 4 count, you'll realize you can start hearing the splash. So you bring it up.